Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Kregel. I'm with Group D, and we're here to go over the Clean Edge razor case in our response to Group C's analysis. As you can see, our group is here listed below. I'm going to go over the case itself, some of Group C's recommendations, and then also how our opinions differ from Group C when it comes to branding, strategy, and more. So Paramount is, as you know, looking to launch a new product into the non-disposable razor space under the name Clean Edge. Currently, they have two products, the Pro and the Avail. When launching this new product, Paramount's leadership team and marketing managers have differing opinions when it comes to the new product launch in terms of where it should be launched, what markets, and more. So Group C came in and made their recommendations, and they recommend that the product be branded as the Paramount Clean Edge. So keeping that mainstream Paramount name front and center and introducing it into the super premium niche market while maintaining a balance between marketing budget, the existing Paramount Pro and the Paramount Clean Edge. Paramount will maintain their mainstream moderate offering while introducing the Paramount Clean Edge as an innovative super premium offering. As for our recommendations and how they differ, we both agree on the positioning that it should be a niche market product. The branding, as I just mentioned, differs. We think Clean Edge by Paramount is a better brand because you're differentiating from the mainstream brand because it is a niche offering. And when it comes to product line, Group C wants to discontinue Avail and only keep Pro and the new Clean Edge, while we want to keep all three and maintain a diversified product mix and more options for our clients. Now for the strategy, Group C, as mentioned, wants less products. They're okay with more cannibalization, while they want to maintain a strong focus on research and development and the super premium segment. Now, we want more products, we want less cannibalization, and we also want more flexibility when it comes to our product line and if we want to enter the mainstream market in the future. Next, I'm going to hand off to Meredith, and she's going to go over the competition, market share, and more.
All right, thank you, Matt. So currently, Paramount's top competitors are Prince and Bennett & Klein. And together with these two brands, we control just under 70% of the total market. Unlike Paramount, these two brands do offer a super premium option, but we're expecting that the buzz we generate through the launch of our first super premium razor, which also happens to be our most significant product innovation in a few years, will be a good way to keep Paramount at the forefront of the grooming conversation. Launching into the niche market, our closest rival is expected to be Radiance's Nave, which captured about 13% of the market share during its product testing. However, we do have the Paramount name behind our product, which will help get our foot in the door with those who are maybe just switching over to a super premium razor. And most importantly, we have the clinical trials to back it up, which is a first for the industry. And other than the razor's features, is probably our most compelling differentiator. So what we learned through our clinical trials is that what distinguishes us within the field are three main features. It's the follicle stimulating technology, it's the ultra thin 5-blade design, and the handle, which we designed for superior balance, grip, control. And through testing, these features prove to provide not just a smoother and longer lasting shave, but an overall improvement in skin condition. And we expect that for the highly involved shaver segment, these functional benefits are going to translate to those higher level benefits of increased confidence and peace of mind. So based on our market evaluation forecasting, we've decided on a launch strategy that's going to provide Paramount the flexibility for expansion into the mainstream market without unduly jeopardizing or cannibalizing the sales of Paramount Pro in the immediate future. We're pretty confident in the direction the market is going in terms of super premium razor users. And even in our most conservative projections, this strategy is set to provide more stability and growth than the other options. And we're targeting the highly involved shavers who are looking for a richer shaving experience in the hope that this group will provide us with valuable testimonial as we transition to the mainstream market. So when considering when and how to enter the women's market, we know that personal grooming, specifically within the niche market, is trending towards a more more gender neutral packaging and promotion so as to capture a wider swath of the market. Because Clean Edge offers industry leading features that meet the shaving needs of both men and women, we think it makes sense to introduce Clean Edge into the women's market shortly after the initial launch. So that wraps it up for me, and I'm going to hand it over to Jeff, who is going to touch on market segmentation.
Thanks, Meredith. So I'd like to take a second and double click on our marketing segmentation and targeting strategy. So by way of reminder, on the left-hand side of the slide, you'll see the 3 segments within the non-disposable consumer marketplace. And for us, the primary target would be the social emotional shavers. But we consider the aesthetic shavers to be a very accessible secondary target within our strategy. Now, the nice thing about focusing on these 2 segments is that together they represent about 2/3 of the overall premium marketplace, which is actually a pretty big niche, if you will. Now, we recognize that messaging to these 2 segments could be slightly different, with social emotional shavers being more motivated by messages around unique functionality and feel of the brand, while the aesthetic segment may be more motivated by the hard data on the closeness of the shave. But we believe it's possible to do a campaign that could activate both of those segments. We also think that targeting these 2 segments makes sense because they likely have a greater willingness to pay, which will support our pricing strategy. And they also are probably less likely to currently be users of Paramount Pro. And that would, in essence, support the notion of lowering cannibalization or minimizing cannibalization, which is really at the heart of our strategy. Now, as we think about positioning in the marketplace, we would like to put really a hard line in the marketplace between the Clean Edge by Paramount and the Paramount Pro. Now you see we've elected to put Clean Edge as the primary part of the branding rather than Paramount, in contrast to Group C. And that's because we believe that there's probably very little brand loyalty to Paramount among this segment of premium razor users. At the same time, we think including by Paramount in the branding makes sense because likely Paramount has a reputation as a high quality product, and so it may add a bit to the branding to carry it along. Now, one of the other advantages is that for the Paramount Pro, those users who are likely to be the maintenance shavers, have certain buying patterns and they're used to seeing the product, and there's no sort of risk of product confusion at this point. And with the introduction of a new product like the Clean Edge by Paramount, we want to make sure that there's a very clear distinction between the razor they're used to using and the new razor. So in essence, we would be avoiding the disruption of buying patterns for Paramount Pro, which again all points toward a minimalization of cannibalization, which is key to our strategy. So let me turn things over to Steve for an economic analysis.
Thanks, Jeff. We agree with Group C's figures and interpretations. Projected sales for entering the mainstream market are enticing, but the profits are quickly hindered by the marketing costs, which would be about $81 million over 2 years, or in the cannibalization to Paramount's current product offerings, would cost about $61 million for that same 2 years. Entering a niche market which greatly reduces both of those costs, it would be about $46 million over 2 years. It's important to point out that Paramount believes 60% of its customer base would be sold up if the Clean Edge were to enter the mainstream market. That means that 60% of their clients will be willing to spend enough on the register to bring in over $1 per unit, cartridge or razor, just to the product margin. Since we're entering the niche market, 35% of those clients are willing to pay enough to bring in over $2 extra per unit, whether it be razor or cartridge. That leaves 25% of the customer base looking for more. We believe And we can reposition the Pro in a few years to take advantage of that, maybe add a Pro Plus. Or if Paramount decides to let the Pro age out, the Clean Edge can move down into the mainstream market because of the flexibility given that it was entered the super premium niche market. So in conclusion, branding the Clean Edge by Paramount, by putting Clean Edge first, separates this razor from Paramount's other offerings, while still acknowledging the superior shave that it offers. By positioning in the niche market, we could appeal to both the social emotional shavers and the aesthetic shavers. We keep the fixed costs down, mostly marketing, but we'll reduce cannibalization 25% less than entering the mainstream market, all while maintaining a premium price point. For the product line, we believe, and the 3 products offered by Paramount, the Avail is the biggest name in the value line. The Pro has very strong offerings in the moderate segment, and we believe the Clean Edge offering a superior shave, closest shaving razor on the market, will put itself in a great position when it opens up in the super premium. The strategy, the flexibility to shift downstream is only offered to Paramount by going in the niche. You can't move a product from the mainstream and then expect people a few years later to pay more for it. With that flexibility, let them really decide what they want to do with the Pro as it ages out, right? Because if they're at the top of the market, there's room between the Pro and the Clean Edge for a new product, or there's room to move the Pro itself up without really affecting the Clean Edge. So here are questions. Listen for a second. Thank you very much for watching our presentation, and I hope you have a wonderful day or evening or whatever time it is right now where you are. Thank you.